Hey, what's up? Welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm working on login from front-end app React and to build our backend RESTful service. So let's get started. So the first thing, I'm open my terminal and change to our project cd tutorial and stream. Alright, so I'm going to start MongoDB. I run MongoDB on my terminal, and with that we'll start MongoDB. And again, I'm open new tab on my terminal and change to our API. Alright, say and run npm start to start our backend RESTful service. Alright, so that's maybe problem. I'm going to run npm install all the module again. So npm start. Yeah. Right. I remove all the malware and run install again and remove this file as well and npm install. Okay, so alright, I believe it's done and npm start. Right, so our server backend is listed on port 3001. The reason problem is because I just updated my Nodejs to latest version 9.8. So it's maybe all the module already installed in the last tutorial, it may not compare with this Nodejs version. So that is why I have to delete the nodes underscore modules and remove the package log.json and we reinstall all the depends module. Okay, so let's start the front-end React app. So open new tab on my terminal and cd to web and npm start. Now I'm not sure. Okay, so it should work because it doesn't require we reinstall all the module. So we got this. It's a camera, and remember in the last video we got a register, and here we create a new account and send back to our server. Right. So I'm going to open the project on my WebStorm development tool. Change to root project and WebStorm and open all the project file in WebStorm. And we just create a new router for login, and the last video as well we got sign in work but nothing in this. Okay, sign in. So we got the web app. This should be a React front-end app, and in the last video we just create a login component and register component. In the register component we just complete everything and submit to backend. For example, I'm going to create a new account for again register and test1 and email test1@gmail.com with password 123 and 4. Submit it. Alright, an arrow saving account. Let's see what happened. So the first thing I'm going to open the Mongo 3T and this is a client for MongoDB and we can see our database. So let's see stream collection user. I believe tag1 is exists. Tag1 is already exists in a last tutorial and tag2. So let's change tag3 and change email because the email address exists. Create new account. Now see your account has been created. Now refresh MongoDB, you should see a new account information right here. So in this video, we are working on the login component and implement the login with two fields, the email and password. So get back to our login component, we got it. And so remember we did in the register. So I want to use all the component in the register. So basically you can copy that. For now, just copy that for real quick. Or in the real production, I can recommend create a new file. For example, we got a theme and we can copy a new file. For example, just copy that for form. Or even you can create a new folder called is a theme. Right, theme. And in the theme, you can create a new file, for example, form.zayat. So we got the form.zayat, and let's get back to our register. And we can do by copy form success matrix. Copy that, right? And I want to cut this into form.zayat. So we got to inform theme, and we are going to use our element. We did a component use stylus in the form into our register. So how do we do that? So for now we got this. So import, and remember we need to export our component. Export this. So I'm going to copy that for real quick, and we got that. Export that. Export. So now we go ahead and use our element from, for example, from success matrix. So in the register we need to import from success matrix. It should be from. Let's see our register in a pay and user is, so we got 1, 2, and 3. So in this case we got this. So from, and again, and theme, folder, and form. So that is how it works. So we got the form success matrix. So let's get back with register form, and we got this form error matrix is not be far, and we need to copy form error matrix. So in the form, copy from error matrix to copy that. Again, form. Need to import all element because we are using it in render form item. We need to use this. And from action, from submit, from input, from label, and from submit. All right, we are using all elements like that. So now let's see what else. Stylus component, because you know we are using stylus component, so let's import this from a login. In the theme, cannot reserve from theme. And for now, we can remove this. And the form, we got import from theme. So change the color from theme. Right. Change the color. Style from stylus component. So remove that. Maybe a missing. Okay, so now the register should work. Now you can see it's background and login. To get back this, we need to use all component with same register. So that means we can copy import from register, import that file, copy that into login. And here we do this by form sign in, form sign in. And here let's do by form the same, and we close this at the end, and we got on submit equals something, some function, and we can do directly in one from. However, I can recommend this. Add a new function. We got a prop and super prop. We might call this, and we got this state equals something, and we got a user email. We are using email only, email and passwords, and default give is an empty value, and password should be an empty value in login component. So on submit, we can call it to z.on submit. So on submit, we don't have this function. We have to create that by equal on submit dot by this. So we got on submit function with even. And so right, so make a console, for example, log from is a submitters with a value user. So we can get the user from state later. Current user equal z.state. Right. So we got a form and make with the form item. Form item. Remember, we just imported the top and form item inside this. We got the label, form label, with name, for example, an email. And we got the input, from input. From input should we got this type equal email. And name equal email. And placeholder placeholder equal your email address. So let's see what's now. So we will need to set the default value user from equal z.state. And here we can set the default value equal user.email. And remember, we just set the default email from an empty. In this login component, I am going to use a loadat. So import underscore from loadat. Loadat. And here we can go ahead, replace user email with loadat function get user and email field properly, and give a default an empty string. And we got this is on chain. On chain even should be like this. Something like this, but I can do by console log. For example, even right here, log even dot target dot value. You can get the value when the input change. This means the user typing email without keywords. So that is how we can get on chain even. But I recommend create a new function by call this on text field chain. So on text field chain, on this field chain, we have to create this function. Alright, equal this dot by this. Right, let's create a new function with even. So we got field equal even dot target dot name. We got the name, field name. We set, because we set the name of the input text field, and we cross value equal event.targets.value. So now we can set the change state by calling this set state. Set state and user to user. So we need to modify the user. So let user equal this state. So user dot fill equal value. So we may change user. Alright, so let's copy that for the input field, text field, and we change it to password. And on text field change should be same, and get the value should be changed to password. This text field type now become to password, and the name should be password. Placeholder answer. Okay, so that, and we got a new button for form action. Inside the form action, we got the form submit. Form submit equal type should be submit, and we got the button name of the button should be login. So let's see what we have on sign form. So we got this and submit. You see the page reload problem E. For now, if you don't want to see the when we submit this form is reload web page reload. So we got this on submit with event. So the function will be turn off the reload page when we submit the form. Call event dot prevent default. That's function prevent default. And here let's see again. Now we submit it. Now no more reload page. Next email, let me try something. My email and 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we submit it. Form is submit with the your value. So we can use this value and send back to our API RESTful service and verify the passwords in email is correctly and return the user with a token and keep that token in client browser. And we can verify our next request later. Right, we got this. And so for now, I'm going to get back in our store. We got create account, and here I'm trying to make a new function, login. Login with the user object with callback function. Default, let's give it. Alright, it should be equal, not error. And here we can call this service .pod and the API user and login. Sorry, with data user, and then we got a response. Also we cast error. So we simply going to return callback and error and null. And this we do return callback. CB callback. An error is a null and response those data. Okay. So we got service.post API and user login. Let's try this. And we got an error because in our backend service we don't have that API for login. So now I'm trying to make my username and my email and 1, 2, 3, 4 for password and sign in. Alright, so I didn't call login in from login component, so we got store. So in this case we got store. Let's see in our app.component we set a router with a login and we set store as prop. So store as prop. Now you can get store by cut store equals this dot pop, and that means we can get store our store class. And here when we form is a submit, with value, and now I'm trying to call store dot login. We got store login with the first parameter is a user object and give it the user, and next parameter is a callback with error and results. So let's check this. If error console log login error and otherwise we can do by this error console log login success with results and results. That is how it works. So again, let's make a test for email, and password 1, 2, and 3, and 4 is submitted. Now you see get a post method to our backend, but we see should not found API endpoint. So we got a report and error, and here in log console now you see login error, and we see fully error with the matrix, and our response data and report. Okay, so that is we cast an error. So we need implement this API login for front-end can request. So let's close this, and here get back to our API in our model, and we got the user. Alright, so we need to open the router, and where we define all the router. Right here we got the user API user. Let's copy that because I'm going to use the same thing. Give a little bit space at the bottom, and API user login. Create here login a user and return token object. Right, for now I'm trying to make up those ports API user and login. So request response I reach make better response and next. So basically I could return successfully course, for example rest stars, or even return remember, or we make a function for response handler. So let's do this. Return response handler with first parameter is response and data, for example success, and 2, and the next parameter is a success code, default 200. Now let's send again. Now it should see successfully. Right, so we got a login successfully with result and success 2. That's how we can send to our client. So we need to do get the data from user data current user data equal. Alright, I'm going to use we do request.body. So we console log getting data from user submit so with user data, and here now we should see a matrix in our backend server. Let's see where we start server. Now getting a data from user with email and password. This is how do we getting a data from form submit in the post method. So we can use this data and to backend. For example, now I could like to do this by first thing in the user model. I want to create a new method for the login. So we got create methods, and I would like to make some comment. So and cb callback with error and results. Create a new user account which object. Right, so I'm going to make a new method, for example, login. So login should be first parameter equal email, and next parameter is the password. So give a default empty string. Okay, so how do we verify email? So let's do this by in the router. Here we can call it app.mother.user and .login. So we got the email. I'm going to use a loadout function get the user data with email and default empty string. And next is a password. User data password. And finally, we got a callback function with a results error and results. Now it depends on you. You can use a promise. If you want to use a promise, and this should be a callback function. Callback should default an empty function. For now it is callback, but if you want to use promise, just return this new promise. I recommend you learn this from with reserve and reject, like that. And you can return if something error and return resolver and or resolver, something like this, and otherwise return reject, something like that. That is how we create a new promise function. But for now I'm just using callback function. So we got this. In this case, you can make a temporary check if request if user get user data email, if not email or not get user data password, and simply you can return error handler which response, and the error method should be email and password is required, and default should be like that anyway. So if user send a new method, so with for example an empty password, so we got a new error with the method. What happened right there? We got data and you should email and password is required. So that is how we send a user with an error curve. Now and then if we got the email, and we can validate email, but for now it's not need. So let's create login, and here we got it. If error and we return. So I'm going to make a one line okay. Return error handler with response and matrix at set or even an error on read and cross for set deny, and otherwise we can return response handler with response and data should be results. Okay, start. And here we need to implement a login function in user. Right, we got the email, and the first thing we need to do is validate email. So let's see what we do have a email validate. So we got do email validate. So let's copy that email reget. And or even I can make a new function, user validate email. And default is a mail string and it's empty. And we do cross and return email reget dot test email. So that is how we do validate email. And so in this case, we got the first thing we need to do, if not this email validate email, and then we can simply return callback. Callback a function, an error should be email is not valid, which result to be null. So like that. Alright, so the next thing, and then if email is valid, let's find this email in database if exists. So the user submit with an email is my email address, and we let find in our database the user object which matches with email address. So how we do that? In the MongoDB, we have got a function find or find1. For now, let's try to do this. Cars db equal, let's see, a collection. And so we can do like this dot collection equal app.db dot collection user. So that means in the login function we can do by this collection dot find, for example, dot find. In this case, I recommend find1, maybe find1 query, find1 or find. For now, let's find. And which query, and the next should be an error and result, option, and to array, and we limit 1 and to array with error and result. So that is how we use a function find, or even you can use a find1. For now, just find1, and we limit 1 value. So we got query and option. What is a query and option? Query A, cars query should be an object. So queries we need to email equal to string and email. And so let's see what else. Okay, so an option, cars option equal. So we find user with email. In this case, I want to find user with an ID and name and email. ID, name, and email, and create and password. So in that means we got ID equal 2 and password 2 and name 2. I created 2 and password, and let's see, email equal 2. We need to return all the field. So let's make console if error or not. I'm using load that function, get results and the ones item. If not this, if error or not found any item in array, so we'll simply return this callback with error not found. Right, so user not found and null. The result should be null. Otherwise, we return callback with no error and just load up and get the results with the first user in array. Alright, so let's see. In this case, if we don't have a validate password that, just find anyone match email address and return this. So for now, let's just password anything and my name. So I believe what uncollection, Rtmp collection undefined. This collection is undefined app.db. Let's see, app.db.collect this.app. This collection. So for now, let's try to do this. Alright, cost collection equal this.app.db.collection user and collection dot file. So once again, hit submit. So we got networks error. Cannot read collection undefined. So what happened? This app.db. And let's remove this slice and let's debug something. We got in the before say collection this app.db.collection user, but in the login, why we don't this app.db this collection user. So let's do this by console or slug collection and see what happened. Submit and see if I why is look like this app.db dot collection user. So again, let's submit that. Hi. Alright, so we got problem because we validate the user password would be something, because if we got empty and crash header send and alright, so it worked. It's console. Right, if error or is not result and return callback, and here the router. So remove this because it may be returned many times. Okay, so now let's see. It's result with a user object because we find a user with email. For now, let me try to enter some wrong email. Let's see. We got the not found error. We got an error with the return error. Respond and the method should be data and error. So email is not validate. Alright, and change to something and wrong email. Now you should see the same thing. Email is not validate. You can check an error with response right here and data. You got see user not found because we don't the data not contain any user with this email address. So let's get back to my email address and switch the password to anything. Now you should see this result. Right, because in this case we only find a user with a matched email address. Okay, so when we found a new user with email address, this means user is the file. So let's verify the password. How we do that? You know, when the user creates, after user creating, and you see the password is encoded, and so we can compare from this, and we can decode this. So recommend to get back to our Nodejs and bc script and get a little bit document for compare. It's a compare synchronous. We're looking for compare synchronous, hard synchronous, and we got compare synchronous with Ffmpeg and hard. So let's do this by, so we got a user password. This is a Ffmpeg password, and here we can do like this. Cause password is mat equal, and let's import the bc script. Right, we did this, and let's call this by bc script and compare synchronous, and with the user password and the password we get from the user and result right here. So let's copy that. Is a user, and here we got user from database equal to the result, and compare this. I'm using the load function, get the user and password, and here is a encrypt password. I want to make a variable here for you can understand better. Curse and curse password. Right, this is a password from a user in database, and we need to compare plain text password with encode password. Alright, so here we can do this by if, then we check this, if password is a match, and we return this, we return callback user, and otherwise. And so I believe we can make a one line of code right here. So password is a match. We return, make a return first. Password is a match, and we return callback an error equal null, and the user we need to do. And next thing, otherwise return not password not match, doesn't match. For example, we can do by callback with an error password does not match, like that, and the next parameter null, we don't return the user. So let's see, like this, and the password now is anything. So now you should see an unauthorized code, and if you take a look at the method and return and data, so I want to create a new method right here, and we can see much better. So guys, back to our web app, and we got component, paste, user, and login. Alright, so I'm going to implement a new method. So let's copy the method in which we did in register. So we got format is copy that to our login. Format them. So we got the method from state method, and so the method from state, we do need to set a variable from state method. So by default, I can give it an object with, alright, so thrice equal something should set and message should be null or empty or null, like that. Alright, message. Okay, so when we submit a user with an error result, if error, so simply I can set this set state with the method with type equal error, and the method should be, I'm using the loadout function, error response data, and let's see, data. I'm not sure we can get this, but submit it again, and I believe we got the response and .data and .error and .message. .response, .data, .error, .message, and give a default login error. So for now, remove this. We don't need it anymore. And otherwise, login successful with results. So simply we can set a new method and tiger success. And the method now makes it simply and login successful. Right. Okay, so let's try again. For example, let's my password is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a wrong password, but we got match email, and we see we got passwords does not match. And what happened if I 1, 2, 3, and 4 correct password? Let's see, login successfully. So in the return, we got a response with this. Here we got a user, but I don't want the password will be show up to the end user, so let's delete that in our router. So a user, call back with user. Here we can do by right. So when we call back this and look unset user password. Now again, we got it successfully, and network should see response. Not much better. We don't see any password filled in the response in JSON format. So we only see ID, name, email, and create. So I'm going to implement the token in our return. I would like return a user with token. So let's get back to our API and model. I'm going to make a new token. So let's do by import. So the first thing we class token and constructor with app. So z.app equal app. Alright, so we got to create token. Create token with user ID. Right. And callback function default give is an empty function. This callback should be an arrow or arrow with or success. So create new token. Simply we can do by this dot app.db.collection. I'm going to make a new collection is a token, and insert one with token, and make for arrow and info. So let's do this card token equal and user ID should be user ID. If type user ID equal string, and that means we need to make user ID equal object. So let's do that by import card object ID equal require and MongoDB So here we need to do user ID equal new object ID with the user ID. Right, user ID string. And create this new date. And we can implement Ep5, and when you can set the date time and 1 day or 1 week or 1 month, but for now let's keep it. I'm not going to implement the Ep5 dates for this tutorial right now. We can do it later. So token with create token. Alright, so I recommend create token with the user object. Alright, so we got token like that. And so token, here we do this, check one line of code, return if error, and we return callback with error. Alright, example, cannot create token, and results should be null, and otherwise return callback and no error, which callback is a token. Right, we got this. And we may choose set this. If successfully, we can set token. And I recommend to user immutable cars or this map equal require immutable. We can use immutable, and here we make a catch. Right, this dot token equal new artist map, an empty collection token, and here we got this. I can make this if error equal null, and right, so that's like that. We can now set the token to the catch and query for fast query later. For example, this token dot, I can make a new function, add token to catch with ID and token dot equal this token dot set with ID string and token object. We can do that, and here token should be dot add token to catch with the token ID and token. So token ID, how we do convert our object ID to token ID? So simply we do by cut equal token dot underscore ID dot to string. This function should work. Or even you can use a load function like to string with token dot underscore ID. Okay, so same. Now, when we got login in the router, and we call login in the model, and let's see in model we did a login. One couple thing I need to do is our model index. We need to initialize token. This dot token equal new token, and with app as the first parameter. How do we import the token? Same thing right here with cards token equal require, right, should be same token. Right, we got token, but in token class we didn't export that, so we have to do model export equal token. So now go ahead, we can use a token and we initialize token. So that means in user login, when we log in successfully, and here we can return a callback with the user. So that means I'm going to make the check this if password is a match, and here let's create token object. So how we do that? By this .app.model.token.create with the user ID. A user ID we can do by get user dot underscore ID dot to string. We need to do it string. Even user ID is object. Okay, we accept object because in token we create the user ID should be an object ID. If it's string, we can convert it, but let's give it default. It's object ID. And the next is a callback with arrow or token. If password is a match and otherwise, so L we return callback node. So let's copy that. Otherwise, return callback. And here we need inside this. We make like it as well. If arrow return callback arrow with no, and otherwise return callback with no arrow with. So we need to do is the token dot user equal exactly a user. We need to include user in token. So here we got this token, return token. And now let's see, in our login successfully. Let's clear this. And we got successfully, login successfully. And now get back to our network and we see post login and we return to be a user ID and create ID. And we can user ID this ID and save it in our local store, right? Well, so we got it. And here let's see in our database we should see a new collection is a token. And the token is look like this. This object ID is user, this token belong to this user ID, and daytime we create token. So that is how we do login to backend server. So how do we verify this token? So that means you see in our token we set the token with ID. Click this, and now I am going to do this by create a new method. For example, I'm using Postman, and here I want to get to our server in the router. We got this is our server backend, and I want to make a new method to get a user and me. And this method I want to include, for example, all with a set token. For example, in this case, let's copy a set token in our network. That's nothing right here. But I want to copy the T token, copy that, which authorize like this, and send. And we got nothing because we didn't create this. So get back to our backend server, and we got and have a two report the user and me. So let's copy that. Method now get user and me. So get owner info. So that means we do the user, for example, they can get their account info with the token ID. So how we do that? By in app.get method API user and me, or even you can use user profile like this, and even what the API part you want. For me, let's do it. Get API me, and with parameter request return and make, for example, and we can return a sample, return a response handler with sample request, a response and data, for example, hi there, and the code default 200. Right, remember response handler we create in the top, just one top of the router.js. For now, let's send again. Now you should see Okay, API user me and yes user, right, user. So we wait for user restart, and here let's try this one more time again. Alright, 2001 user and me. Alright, why doesn't work? API user and me. Let's copy that. Right, for example, we can R equal ABC, something like that. We can see hi there, and we didn't validate any. So for example, let's copy the key and hi there. Sorry, keys all like this. So how do we get the token ID from O? It's a query, so we can do by cast O key or token ID equal request dot get authorization. If not token ID, we also get from so we also get authorization from header, and let's do it verify first. For example, if not token, when we do console those log yes. Alright, so we do by token ID equal request dot query dot oh. And we need to change the token ID, so for now make console.log token ID e, and here we token ID. So let's see what else. First thing is token from header. We got this, and we got token ID this, and that means we get token from query parameter is all. And if you change the token, for example, you want to get a token like this, and for now your token is not undefined because we get token from all query parameter. So one like that, and here you get should be we got a token ID A. And get back to I recommend use this big not ever you want, but I recommend you that. So right, that means so how we can use a token in header. So for now, let's get this, and you don't see any token undefined. And if you want to set header, so check in header and give key authorization and pass the value right here, and you should see the token ID E, and that means we accept token from header and the query string. Okay, so we got so in this case if not token ID, and that means we can return error handler to be a response and error code method accept denied with default code accept denied code. Right, for example, if the user not send anything in the header and not send anything in the query parameter, let's see, we got error method accept denied. And if user send a header, for example, authorization, and copy it, and we see they can see the method hide there. And that is how we verify the token is required in header or query parameter. So how do we verify user token? Let's uncommon it. We need to do by this.app.token verify with token ID, and verify should be callback with parameter arrow or results. Verify, I recommend verify return with the user profile. So verify, and for now, let if error return error handler with Rtmp and matches set denied and cross and otherwise and return set handler, a Rtmp handler with Rtmp, and the data should be result. Okay, that is how we return a user after verify, but we don't have a verify function in token. So let's create a new verify function in the token model. So to create, we create now verify with token ID, and callback should be a function and give it an empty callback function. You can use any permit function return. And if you use a permit function, it's much better in Nodejs 9. You can use a async function, and then we can call abc equal y, something like that, and very cool. But for now, just keep all methods. Use a callback for now. Alright, so we got the verified token ID. Remember, when we create a new token, we add token to catch. So for now, first you need to let file token with ID in cache. So this dot card token in cache. This dot get token, or even you can do like this. This dot token dot get with token ID. Token ID. Token ID should be a string, so you can verify if type token ID is not string, and that means we need to turn it to string. By token ID equal. Alright, token ID should be, you should load that function to string with token ID. We need to do that. File token in cake with token ID, and here if token in cake. That means if we found any token in cake, we should return it quickly. Callback and arrow null, and token should be token ID. And right, so when we set a token, I recommend we set with the user object. And here, so we don't have any. And so, right, so let's get back to our user. When user creates successfully this token, I just log in. And where is the create user? Add user to cake. And that means we can make a function right here. First parameter load user, load with the ID, and callback to be empty function. And here, so with first load user in cake, called user equal z.user dot get ID if user in cake, and return callback no error and with user in cake. That is how we do set this. And in this case, right, and otherwise not file in cake, let file in db. So this dot app dot db dot collection dot user collection user dot file one or I recommend file which query should be ID to be in this case we need to current user ID user object ID equal new object ID, and make sure we did import this current equal require MongoDB, and we need to convert the user ID string into object ID, new object ID. Our ID should be capital D, and so new object ID, and here we got the ID. Right, got the user object ID with ID, and we limit 1 and 2 array with arrow and result an array. So right, so we do like this: if arrow or not get results, get the first item of results, and here we return callback an arrow user not found and no value, no result, and otherwise return callback no error and the result get result, and it will be first item of the array. So how we load a user? We first thing we load a user in case, and otherwise we load a user in database. So in the token, when we verify token, if we find any token in array, we got token return this. So token in cake, and need to do by cross. Alright, so let's find user and attach this to data in response. So let's do this dot app dot model dot user dot load with a user ID. So we got how we do get it. Token ID in cake should be an object. Remember, token ID in cake, that an object with ID, and we got a user ID, the object ID. So card user ID string equal token in cake dot user ID dot to string. So load this. Load the user with a callback an arrow or user. So that means I will return this, and here we can delete if error return callback an error no, and otherwise return no error with token in cake, and here we can set the token in cake dot user equal user, and we attach that, and we unset. We don't need token in cake user password. So right, got this. Set password. Callback should be token in cake. That is how we implement it in the form the cake, and otherwise. So let's find token in database. So we can find by call this app.db.collection, right, token, and find with query echo ID should be token ID. Token ID now string token string, and here we need to call token object ID equal new object ID. Let's make sure we import this token ID object with token ID. So we query should be find that, and we limit 1 and 2 array with error and results. Right, like that, and here let's copy that. So we need to verify first if not if error or not get results. Then it results. And first item of the array. And here we return callback. Token not found. And data null. Another way, let's copy and paste copy top and call ID string, and we need to append user string model and load the user string and user, and here we got the result. So we can do by call token equal load that function get the results and first item of the array, and here let's rename the token Nginx like that and set that, return that. Okay, so that is how we verify a user token. Let's see, verify, and here let's send it again. Cannot set repository token identify. Let's see what happened. Cannot read property token identify. Right, app.model.token. Once again, refresh this. Cannot read property model. So I believe we should wait for the server refresh. And API this app.model.token. Cannot read property model. This app. I am sorry, should be app, not this app. Again, wait for server restart. Hit send again. Oh, no report anymore. Crash. Verify or update verify. And let's see what else. In token, let's make sure. Wow, we didn't import loadout function from equal require loadout. So my mistake. We do need import loadout library and can use this. Again, let's send it. So one more error. Cannot read property user ID identify. Pi token 62 in this token Nginx. Alright, no more token Nginx because this is a problem when we copy some code. Right, so I want to make it really quick, but I got debug problem. Alright, so this corrected. We got authorization, and this token belong to me, and we return this. And that means we can use as this. And so when user gets user me with token, I can recommend we just only return a user object. So how we do that? In verify, we can just only return it to the user. So we don't need any in token password return token cake anymore. And in this case, we can simply do this user and make sure we don't show the passwords to the user password. And let's copy that. And the same thing we can do right here, token resource one. And we don't need set this. And we return only user. User only want to get their our info. So again, let's send this. And now you should see only user object. And what happens if I send a wrong token key? And alright, so with argument but with string 9, this is wrong token at set d9. Problem you see this because when we convert to string, and this can be happen. So a new object ID. Right, so where we get a new verifier token in database, and I believe we can do make a try and catch right here. Try and cut error like that, and try token ID by default we have it new. Try do this, and here we need to make a token object to be less. Get error. Copy that. And here now no more error. We send it again. And if you enter a wrong token, you see that. And here let's copy a correct token, a set token. Now you see this. This is verify. How do we verify token? And even you don't send any set token and give all equal that should be the same, and copy that URL from browser. We should get a message with verify me with token, right? That is how we work with login and a set token. Okay, so I will stop video right here and see you in next time. Bye for now.